Welcome. We are WNST, AM 1570 Towson, Baltimore. We are at the new Faidley's. There's noises, there's sounds, there's smells of crab cakes. All brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. I've got Pac-Man scratch-offs. Alicia's too young to play Pac-Man, but Damye and I, we're old enough to remember, how to get after the cherries and chasing a little ghost and avoiding them. Maryland Lottery sends us out to do this. We're going to be giving these away here today, as well as on Friday the 26th when the Orioles come back down. Every Friday in season, location, location, location. We're on PACA. We're about 3 blocks from the ballpark lights. I get fined if I call it a stadium because it's a ballpark. Camden Yards. New ownership, but we have the same ownership here at Faidley's. Damye Hahn is here. Alicia's here. They are running things. Finally, look at this place.
Finally.
Truly.
Finally.
When did you know, Damye, that this was going to happen? When did you know they're going to rip the market down? They're talking about a new market. Because they've been talking about a new market for 30 years, right?
5 years ago. 5 years ago, we knew that it was coming down.
All right, so 5 years ago, you know this. All right, we're going to have to move.
Right.
Run me through your family's jam. As I look at your father with the cigar up there in the corner,
Yeah.
he's staring at me. Your mother's staring at me here.
Right.
I got the Vines and Hans staring
at
me.
you, right, from every angle here. Well, it was interesting because, at first, actually, probably 10 years ago, they were talking about doing something with Lexington Market, and they were talking about restoring the old building. And they had all kinds of groups come in. What's the restoration supposed to look like? What do we need to do? And one of the things that came out of it is that what they had done in 1950 is make the sloped floor, which was brilliant.
I was just talking to Luke about how much that hurt my knees and my hips.
Oh, well,
I'm on flat right now, and I'm hurting like hell, but I'm not going to need ice when I get home.
Right,
the old
right.
Faidley's was an ice job for a man my age with these hips.
Yeah.
I said the floor was fine. It was the hips and my knees that were a problem.
And those of us who worked there for years on the slope, we're used to having one bad hip. We got to turn around every once in a while. But it was brilliant in the fact that they could easily clean the floors. They didn't have to have elevators, escalators, anything, because it was friendly to every wheelchair, everybody.
Oh, right, sure.
It was when they put it in, and they quickly put it in. There's a 14-foot drop between Paca Street and Utah Street. So when you
it's a hill. For
it's
sure.
a hill.
There's steps here in the new location. There's steps, and you step down. Right.
And the old Lexington markets that were started in the late 1700s, each of the sheds always took the shape of and the topography into account. So everybody was always on an angle. And that's the way the markets were always built. So nobody thought that, now we need elevators and escalators.
A flat floor has been really nice for you.
It's
I'm into this
different.
talking about
Honestly,
new location, and all you're talking about is how flat the floor is.
Well, it was a big
all
deal.
This new equipment.
Okay, so 10 years ago, when they started coming up with, hey, we're gonna move Lexington Market, one of the big things was we need to level the floor, and my father's like, you're idiots. Why would you want to level the floor here? You level the floor, and the cost was like $20 million to level the floor. To take that and level it, and he's
build a new market.
That's exactly what Bill said. Bill said, for that kind of money, you build a new market, because what you're going to end up doing is you're kicking everybody out for 2 to 3 years. People go somewhere else to eat, and they're not coming back. So
businesses find another place to do business.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
I mean, if they were going to throw you out here for 3 years, you'd have Catonsville open now, and that's you would have to do it that way.
Or we'd have someplace else downtown.
Yeah.
Because Catonsville, that's another.
Yeah, I got you.
That's taking time for another for other reasons.
I was over at State Fair the other day. I love. I'm waiting for you. Every time I go over there, I'm like,
hey,
one day, all
the worker bees are there now. The roof's off. They're starting. We finally got a building permit about 5 weeks ago. So it's taken us this long to get a building permit.
Listen, I came in here, true story, and Alicia, this is a fact. I came in here when this was all wooded up about 2 months, in January, a couple Super Bowl week. I was supposed to do the show from the new place. You had hoped, I had hoped. It was Valentine's Day. I had cried my last crab cake cries over there in November. I'm like, next time I come back, it'll be. And I came back, and you're stressed out, and I'm like, at some point, we're gonna have normalcy. It's like when people told me at some point we're gonna have a real baseball owner, and Cal's gonna own it. Remember when Cal was gonna own the team?
Right.
Cal owns the team.
Right.
It's great. You wait long enough, things happen. But I would say this. It feels like you've been open for 20 years here, not 20 days. Literally, right? I mean, things are operating, and probably all of the angst about moving and the signs on the wall and your family and all of that, things are probably easier here, right? The kitchen equipment, like every piece of it, once you get used to it, you're like, how the hell do we live like that over there for the last 20 right?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. Except for the one thing I was going to tell you, with the pitch floors, everything drained.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
Here, nothing drains.
Well, let's not have a
So
flood.
we're slip sliding all over the place.
Let's not have a flood. Get a mop.
Yeah. Oh, we've got plenty of mops and
Just
plenty of
drainage over
squeegees.
here.
Yes, but they're not pitched to the drains.
Right, they're a bit higher.
The drains
so
are higher than the
We
floor.
have to move the water around to find the one drain.
All right,
that
let's not talk about the problems here. We just moved in.
All right, yeah, but yeah.
Alicia, for you, with this, and what's better about this? I mean, you could say everything, but what's better for people coming in to get a sandwich as the wind is blowing through here? Luke told me it's going to be windy at the game. I didn't know it was going to be in our microphones, but that's why we didn't do the show outside today. But you have an outdoor deck here. I mean, there's a lot of, like, I would say upgrades to the Faidley's experience
Absolutely.
here, right?
I mean, the first upgrade we can look at is like the fish side. You know, before it was tucked away.
Now, my wife is threatening that if I don't bring rockfish home tonight for a beurre blanc and some capers, we're going to have problems. You got some fresh rockfish here, right?
Oh, we've got some good fresh fish.
Yeah.
We'll get you.
Well,
we'll get
I mean,
you
just
set
the
up.
layout that you can see the fish counter, you can see
Right.
what you
Exactly.
are. Right?
You can see
Exactly.
the crabs. You can see everything, and we've got our old raw bar, which is awesome.
Yep.
We took the raw bar from next
the
door.
sign's still here.
Sign's still here?
I'm not doing the show in front of the sign today because it's right where like the beer is, and I don't want to get in the way of the beer on a Friday afternoon happy hour.
On
We'll
a
do
game,
that.
yeah.
But it's there. One of the old signs. We had two of them, so one of them we'll probably take up to Catonsville. But this one is original to the old raw bar, and the actual raw bar itself, the top, is the original old raw bar top that my dad had built. So we just reworked that one and put it on top of a new base.
You had to clean every frame in here 100 times, right? Like,
oh my gosh!
Because the
we
stuff
took
that you
them
were
down.
taking down in the other place, there's probably stuff up there that's older than Alicia.
Oh,
it is.
1,000%.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe like a majority
All
of
of
it
these
is.
up here are from the 1950s.
No, but what I'm saying, they went on the wall in 1954
Correct.
and never moved from that
Correct.
space.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
Where's
And
the
so
one?
when I took them down, a lot of them were falling apart. So not only did I have to restore them, every single one of these, I repainted every letter.
Did you really?
I went over every
That's
single
why it
one.
looks so damn good. Because I was
Yes.
wondering, how'd you get it over here? Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, that looks like the same exact thing from over there, except it was brown over there and it's like white over here.
Yeah,
you know?
they're
Yes,
they've all
exactly.
been cleaned.
Well, you
they've all
fry
been
10 billion crab
cakes, right.
in a
And-
market, it goes
Exactly.
to the top and whatnot.
exactly.
What do you love about it?
Well, I love that we've brought all our history over here.
I knew that was
every
important to you.
single. It was funny because when we were coming up with the design of this place, I wanted it to look enough like the old Faidleys that people would feel familiar, and I also told them, I said, I'm bringing every single piece of hanging signage and articles and that kind of stuff, and they said, everyone,
I said
and
that
I
to
said
you.
yes. Everyone.
I said that one's going to fall apart over there. And you're like, I'll put it back together. I'll paint
Right.
it.
And I did, and
You were
every
obsessed
single
with that
one.
part of this.
I was.
You know what
I
the
was
thing
obsessed
is?
with that.
You don't have to worry. Like your recipes, the crab cake, the ordering, the customer, like all of that, your staff, all of that was like going to move from there to here, right? Like you knew the fryers were going to be better, the refrigerator, like
Right.
the
Right.
layout. You designed this place. I hope it's perfect, or as close to perfect as your square can be. But then it was like, all right, what am I going to do to make it feel like Faidley's, other
Right.
than the way it tastes, right?
Right. And we brought the tables, we brought all the art, we brought all the articles, like this one here sitting in front of you. That is a certificate of recognition from the city of Baltimore because we were named as most iconic food destination in Smithsonian. And I mean, I can't not have that hanging up. Those are the kind of things. Or we put
I'm
we
glad you're
put
talking
crabs
about
aboard the
this
shuttle.
right now
Because
because
it's all
13
around you.
days from now, you're going to watch this 32-minute video of the documentary, and you're going to be like, I feel that way right now. Like I'm saying to Greg, I can't do the video and not put the Bill Murray thing in. The Bill Murray thing's got to be in there.
Right.
He's like, how long do you want to make it? What, you want to leave the Brooks Robinson thing out? No, you can't do that.
Right.
Well, you want to leave the George Bush thing out, or you want to leave
Right.
the Barack Obama thing out?
What do you leave out? What do you leave on the table?
You want to
Right.
leave out Schaefer or Hogan? You want to
Yeah.
leave out, what are we doing here? You know,
Right.
you going to leave out Cal Ripken or Eddie Murray? You going to leave out Ray Lewis or you going to leave out Joe Flack? It's all got to be in there.
It's all got to be in
there. And
there.
when you have this kind of history that you have here, you don't want to not just let it go. It's as important as the recipe to the crab cake.
Yeah.
Correct. And
It's
it
your
was
brand.
we
Yeah,
had
you know?
we knew we had these high ceilings. So what I told them, I said, they wanted to tile it all, and I'm like, don't tile it. I've got to hang things. And they said, you're hanging it up there, and I said, yeah, I got a lot of big stuff.
Oh,
so
I've been sitting here
it's-
looking at it since I walked in.
We got 35 feet filled this way, and I still have more to put on the back wall, which is another 20 feet
Listen,
and 20 feet out.
Here's the only problem I got. I'm gonna show this sign over here. It's got the raccoon sign over here. Raccoon
Yeah.
in season is what the sign says. And I'm like, we have raccoons out in my back every day, and I'm thinking, do they
Dinner?
taste good? No, no, they're cute. I mean, we give them peanuts, but like, do they taste good? What do they taste like?
You know
the
what?
first thing you see here? You might want to move that to the back.
Nobody
wants to be- you see
People, honestly,
raccoon.
people call all the time for raccoons.
Yes.
All the time. In
You know
Muskrat.
what? Lou makes it, and he makes one for us every winter, and it tastes like, when he does it, it tastes like pulled pork.
I haven't
but a
ventured
little
into
better.
it.
I'm just going to get pulled pork. I'm going to stay away from the raccoon. Because they're cute.
haven't
I
gone.
want to tickle their bellies when they're out there.
I know, with their little
claws.
hands.
Yeah,
And they look at you and they get that
Yeah,
they get
it's-
that Hamburglar look from
Right,
McDonald's.
right.
that, like-
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but I like those. So for you with events and different things, I'm coming down on Fridays. Are we doing crab racing for?
Yes,
for
the
We
crab
are.
derby. Absolutely.
Crab
You
derby.
guys looked at me like I'm
crab
crazy.
derby.
Yeah.
No, that's coming up. That's right before
The
Preakness, the Wednesday before
20
Preakness.
21st is Preakness, so
Yeah,
I
so
think it's on the 18th.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we
Is
are
BJ
going to.
Surf going to cheat again to win?
I-
Or no?
He
You know
did
what?
not cheat.
There was a little encouragement. There was encouragement with his stick. That was little.
Well, he knew he had to agitate the crab.
Right.
I was trying to blow on it, talk nice to it, give it a kiss, you know.
Right,
Here,
right.
crabby. BJ's like, move. and the next thing you know, I mean, BJ's like the most competitive dude I know.
He is,
And,
he
and I
is.
showed up over here, and I was like, look, I traveled to China with BJ. I covered him when he was with the Brewers, who were in town tonight. I didn't take it seriously, and I got my ass kicked. And I went over to your original location, and I talked to one of your guys there. He's like, "You got to poke the crab," and I'm like, "Well, you didn't tell me that before. Now I know. So this year I know you poke
Well,
the crab."
it doesn't
And
even
the
have to be
spray.
poked. You can use the spray bottle. The
Yeah.
water will do
you need
it.
to agitate the
Yeah,
crab.
Yes.
the water will do it. The water will make him jump.
I was kind of going like, "Come on, crabby,
Yeah.
come on, move a little bit."
Okay, all right. It's game
No,
time.
and that's the stick had a little bobber on it, so you were supposed to like do it in front of it.
How about this year? How about if I not participate and I just MC it?
okay.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Because
Well,
I'm not going to win.
I talked to BJ, and he's coming back to defend his championship.
I'm
Yes.
out. Tell him I'm out. Tell him
He wants his trophy
He
again.
does want his trophy.
You know what's interesting about
gotta make
BJ,
another
and I
one.
know you guys aren't. You're a pretty big baseball fan, so maybe you know
Absolutely.
this. But BJ Surf was a number 1 overall draft pick.
Yes.
1-1, like
Yes.
Jackson Holiday.
Yes.
So it
He
is
was.
fascinating all these years later to see what becomes of the goal. Ben McDonald, 1-1.
Uh-huh.
He calls the games and entertains me. Ben McDonald would eat that raccoon. I promise you.
Well, bring him here.
If you know what? If I tell Ben
We'll serve it
that
up
they're
for him.
serving raccoon up here, he would come. They got any crawfish? That's what he would say because he's Louisiana.
I can
you
get
know.
him some crawfish.
Yep. We just had someone.
Would you? Is that sacrilegious to do crawfish in here? No.
No, we
It's
have
still
people
seafood.
that we sell them frozen because people ask for them. People will come in and say, "Can I get crawfish?" And of course, I'll get you anything you want.
dump
I will
Old Bay
order
on 'em?
anybody anything
Do you put
want.
Old Bay on crawfish?
Oh,
They
we
do a
use
different
more of
thing.
a
They do-
Cajun
Yeah,
seasoning.
there's a
season.
Cajun, like J.O. something.
Yeah,
But
there's
it's
a Cajun.
spicier
Yeah.
than
It is.
than
It's
a
hot. There's
J.O.
more
would
heat.
be.
There's more heat.
Yeah.
on
I
it.
got to meet the J.O. Ginger from J.O. I follow her on Facebook, so you guys
She's
should
She's
share your
awesome.
spices.
Hey, get
Yeah.
her over here.
Let's go. You
Oh,
get her
sure.
over
I
here.
love Ginger.
All right,
Yeah, we'll
okay.
ask her.
All right, I'm
We'll get
back
her
on
here.
the 26 from 3 until 4, 2 until 5ish. Day. Luke was here. We're giving away Pac-Man scratch-offs. Damie's trying to move the camera all the way back to the old location here, and
am
Alicia's
not.
here as well. Tell everybody how they can order and do all the cool stuff that they've always been. And what I learned is you're really still doing your shipping from 50 feet away in the old spot because
Yes.
as much as you have great frontage here, you have no backage here.
Right.
Do you have the little cubby you crawl into, like the old cage, your old man used
Oh,
to
we
crawl
have
up
an
there?
office. We actually have a little office.
You have like a real office here.
A real office.
Tell everybody
Yes.
what
With
that's
air
like.
conditioning. It's surreal, to be honest. I
Well, you have
still
that
put
cage
myself
at
in
the
a
old
corner
place.
though, and kind of like pack things around me so it like it feels
So
natural.
I do business with Damye, and I'd be like, "Hey, Damye, we settle up or whatever." She's like, "Well, let me go up to my office," and I'm like, "It looks like Louis De Palma's cage in Taxi,
Right.
like where he got
right.
the cabs. You know what I mean?
Well, Bill would call it his crow's nest
Yeah.
or his eagle's nest.
Eagle's nest, all
Yeah,
right.
the eagle's nest.
Raven's nest.
Yeah, yeah
For
okay, a
Baltimore.
raven's
Orioles
nest.
nest.
He was military. He was Navy, so he'd call it the eagle's nest. But
Well, I hope he's doing okay. I miss
He
him.
is.
Let's get him
He
out down here, get him well. You're doing a grand opening next month.
Yes.
So, for you with early business and people coming in, there's nobody that can't find this place. That's the one thing I want to let everybody know. If you knew where the old Faidley's is, you go there and you walk 50 feet to the right, and here we are.
yes.
Yeah.
There's no that hasn't been an issue at all from the move.
No. In fact, what we had more of a problem with is people coming here and not realizing we were still open in the old
Did
market.
Google locate you here early?
I had to
They
change
locate-
it. Yeah.
Oh, they tried to
Yeah.
move you into the new market.
Yeah,
They
they-
thought the new old market was closed, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Temporarily
Correct.
closed, right?
Correct. So we haven't had a problem getting people back here,
Yeah.
which is awesome, and we have a lot of front footage now. So we've got that nice,
You have more space.
mural
You have more
outside.
space to eat here than you did.
No,
No.
actually, we have less.
It looks way bigger.
I know. All the tables
well,
are
you
kind
had
of
the
shoved
back
in.
area that nobody really used toward the open area of the market. Not a lot of people sat back there.
Oh,
in
and
recent
Saturdays
years.
it did.
But
They
in
did.
recent
Saturdays
years,
it was
though.
always packed.
Well, you're
So-
I still think you have more room here, even though I'm wrong.
It looks, I mean, with all of
But we
the
have a
open
patio
windows and the patio, it does feel like there's more space, but I think we're around there.
All right,
Yeah.
Faidley Seafood. You can order crab cakes anywhere in the world, one click away. They can be in Minnesota tomorrow, Idaho tomorrow. You can send the little McDonald's friends down to Louisiana so they can find out what's good, as my
Yeah.
mom would say.
And we're still shipping. We ship fresh, and we finally have Maryland crab meat again. So yay! We're back to Maryland crab meat.
April, baby. That's all
Yes.
I'm
That's
saying.
right.
Yes.
It's a great month.
It's been
Yes.
a crazy month with the Key Bridge and with the Orioles and the sale. We got an election coming up in a month. Shannon Snead's going to be here today. Sheila Dixon's going to be here. I think Theroux's going to be here 2 weeks from now. So
Yeah.
Good.
trying to get conversations. I think it's so important. I mean, thank you to you for keeping me alive all these years. But I'm doing this 25th anniversary documentary, and so much of it is like how we've morphed from sports into the city, just into what's important
Oh, you've
to people
grown
here.
up.
No. If you see the video, you'll know. Do you know I ran through the streets of Baltimore in tighty whities 4 miles in rush hour traffic on a Friday afternoon?
No, why?
Well, there you go. See?
Yeah, why?
Breadcrumbing. It was the greatest. I lost a bet. Okay? So when I say Ravens to you, and I know you're 21, Alicia, so the team's been here 27 years, so they've been here longer than you've been alive. But there was a life for Damye and I, and certainly for her parents, that we remember the Mayflower trucks leaving, right? And we didn't have a football
Yep.
team. It's way different, especially 30 years later, seeing the baseball team really become a distant number 2 to the football team here over the last 20 years in perception, reality, winning, and all that. But the baseball team was the only thing that existed here 30 years ago when I started the station, started the show. We used to do the show at Hooters Live. We did it there almost every home game because I wanted to be down there. I was at the stadium anyway, and I could walk 3 blocks like this.
Right.
They give me my press pass back. I'll still be here on 2 o'clock on Friday the rest of the year. But, all these years later with football and losing the team and the devastation of all of that, there are people younger who just think, well, the Ravens have always been here. Before that was the Colts. And, there was 13 years. There were 13 years we didn't have a team. So during that period of time, the league didn't expand, lied to us, lied to everybody, took our jerseys, took our uniforms. We had to sit here and pound sand. We had to save money, steal a team, right, to get a team. We lost expansion to Charlotte and Jacksonville. So when we lost that expansion to Charlotte and Jacksonville, I had been on the air about 2.5 years, just 93, 94. Into 94, we lost expansion, and into 95. And once we lost Jacksonville, I sat over at the bar at Bohager's with a bottle of champagne, waiting to hear that Baltimore got a team back. They said, Jacksonville, go back to Baltimore, build a museum. That's what the commissioner of the NFL told our city to build a museum. She doesn't know this stuff.
No.
1995, I went on the air and I'm like, we're never getting a team here. It was despondent. It was like, we're never getting a team. I said, I'll run naked from Hooters to Balls. Remember Balls? Balls is where the Pratt Street Ale House is.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
that was PJ Cricket's before that. But it was Balls. Was it Balls Sports Bar? Balls All-American Sports Bar. When Camden Yards opened, it really created, business for this area
Right.
in a big way
Right.
with 3.5 million people. Why do you think I fight with the creep that owned the team? Because I saw the attrition, what it did to businesses down here. But the football thing, when the team came, it's hard to express what a miracle. It's a miracle that football team came here. It was such a miracle that callers called me and said, "Hey, Nasty, you said you'd go run naked down Pratt Street if they kicked you." So I had to do it. So in lieu of running naked,
So it's filmed?
the 25th anniversary documentary comes out at 5:08 on the 25th. All right.
Okay.
And if you want to see what I look like at 27, running in my underwear, eastbound. I ran that day in tighty whities, and I had 4 Hooters girls in their Hooters outfits, and they were all like chain smokers and drinking. They couldn't breathe, and I was like trained up to do it. Even though I looked that good in it, I look better now, but I was in shape to run 5 miles, and I ran 5 miles. I mean, I ran an hour. I ran to Little Italy, and Amici's had a water station for me.
Oh my God.
This would have been great on social media in
Yeah.
1995, right?
Oh, yeah.
But they
Would've.
had a water station for me, and then I ran up the hill, up to the monument, and then I ran down the hill. It was a lot easier coming down than up. Uphill bad, downhill good, right? Talk about your slope floor. And when I got to President Street, I turned the corner, and there was a cabbie honking, this is old cabs, honking his horn. He had a $20 bill holding out for me. We were raising money for Ed Block.
Uh-huh.
So I was getting tipped. It was like being on the pole. I'm not going to lie to you. And I had my tighty whities on, and we raised money for Ed Block. So that was
that's good.
1996.
That's amazing.
So there's one story.
That's good.
All right.
That's good.
We definitely
That's
can't
good.
wait to watch it.
I know you really want to see me in my underwear, but it only lasts about 8 seconds in the video. we didn't hold the whole thing, all right?
That's all right.
Alicia's here, Damye's here. I will not be in my underwear broadcasting here. But if we ever get an NHL team, I'll broadcast in my underwear from here at Faidley's, all right? Is that good?
It's noted. It's noted.
Well, we have as much chance of getting an NHL team right now as we did have a football team 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Trust me. I would never have said I was going to run naked then. I didn't expect to ever have to pay up on that bet, I guess is my point.
Well, I'm happy you did.
Well,
You know,
didn't we have one for a while?
the
A what?
temporary one.
Not AHL. We didn't have NHL.
Yeah,
We had
okay.
minor league hockey.
Okay.
I always said
Yeah,
for
that's
25
right.
years on the radio, if I
Because
ever got
I think
rich.
my father owned part of that, the hockey team.
I wish I would have
At
known
one
that.
point.
I would have come at crab cakes with you guys before the
Yeah.
game. But, I loved hockey so much. I met my wife at a hockey game, so I love hockey. I was always like, if I ever really got rich doing this, I would have bought a hockey team. That would have been my stupid thing to lose money, was be a hockey entrepreneur. All right, Shannon Sneed's going to be joining us momentarily. She's running for City Council President. We're going to have Sheila Dixon here a little later on as well. If you're out in Listerland, John Allen, Keith Brewer, 2 of our voices from the documentary, joined me earlier at Costas this week. We talked a lot about the Key Bridge. We talked to Todd Crandall. We talked to Joe Gold from Key Brewing about how important the peninsula is. So the city's important. We've been talking about Lexington Market forever. We've been talking about a baseball team we can all be proud of, and ownership, and Cal Ripken. All of that is happening. We got a good baseball team. We're going to be here at Faidley's on Fridays. Every Friday, the Orioles are home from 2 until 5. I said earlier, don't come down here when I'm not here. Come when I'm not here. You'll enjoy it more. The other Fridays. So come on the 19th if you want. But they're here all the time, and you can obviously ship the crab cakes and Faidley seafood, but they taste better here. So I tell everybody, come on down before a ball game, right?
Perfect.
All right. I
Sounds
pimped the
good.
shrimp salad. I sent Luke out with the shrimp salad. Pac-Man ticket for you.
Thank you.
Pac-Man ticket
Oh,
for you.
thank you.
Shannon Sneed's going to get one.
Woohoo.
Even though she's too young to. Do you know what Pac-Man is?
Yeah, I do know. I do know
Just think of you as
Pac-Man.
being young.
I'm down. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You can-
maybe
you can
know Mrs.
continue that. I'm not-
Pac-Man because she came
That's
along.
because her mother was playing.
Yeah.
You know Laurie, right?
Give me that bat. You got to be 18 to play. You're not 18. All right. I am Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We're at Lexington Market, the new Lexington Market. We're at Faidley's. Come down and get some seafood and rockfish like I'm going to take home tonight.